With mile-high expectations this year for the Denver Nuggets tonight, taking on Kobe Bryant and the Los Angeles Lakers. Hello, everybody. I'm Mark Jones, along with John Barry. Lisa Salters joining us in just a few moments. This is the second meeting of the season between these two teams. They met just last Thursday, a Denver shellacking by the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, when you look at Denver right now, three big components. They have their own big three in Camby, Iverson, and Melo. But how do they become, John, one of the elite teams in the league?
Well, you know what? I'm still waiting for them to do that. I look at this team and I look at this roster. I don't think there's a more talented roster in the NBA. Like you said, two prolific scorers, a defensive player of the year in Marcus Camby. What's the deal? And I came up with two things. Commitment to defense on a nightly basis and trust each other and trust the system. And the Denver Nuggets are going to be a team to be reckoned with in the Western Conference.
They talk openly about winning a potential maybe 60 games during the regular season. Meanwhile, on the other side of the court tonight, Los Angeles Lakers snapping their losing streak with a win last night in Minnesota. The barometer of the team is and always will be Kobe Bryant as long as he's here, but the bench now seems to have galvanized, and this team coming together. What do you make of the Lakers?
Well, everybody thought that after Kobe Bryant made those comments and said I want out of L.A. this summer, that this team would fall apart. And like you said, they have been galvanized. The supporting cast of Kobe Bryant has been terrific. Night in, night out, somebody has stepped up. I mean, you look at the numbers. You have four guys in double figures. Vladimir Radmanovic right underneath double figures. This is a young team, the second youngest team in the league. Now, if they keep improving as the year goes on and they keep games close with a guy like Kobe Bryant on your team, expect them to be in the playoff race for the 7th or 8th seed in the Western Conference.
Right now, the Los Angeles Lakers trying to snap a 3-game losing streak here at the Pepsi Center against the Nuggets. Allen Iverson has it ready and loaded to go. Lamar Odom looking to shoot a little bit more. And the young Bynum back in the lineup tonight. The tip-off right after this.
Dodge, grab life.
Welcome inside our NBA studio with the Hall of Famer Bill Walton and Stephen A. Smith. I'm Matt Weiner. Lakers and Nuggets coming up moments from now. The Nuggets have won 2 straight since getting routed at L.A. about a week or so ago. Where's this team right now?
Because of the return of Anthony Carter, things are really looking up. The Nuggets have turned the corner. They're pushing the ball right now. Remember, this is a team with Melo and Allen Iverson that tends to over-dribble the ball all the time. Now those guys are getting out and running. They're getting great contributions from Camby and Kenyon Martin.
Shaka, just speaking to Allen Iverson the other day, he said the same exact thing. They're very, very happy to have Anthony Carter. I think they need some leadership out there, some cohesion and what have you. I think he's the right man for the job.
Denver, 31 assists per game in their last 2 victories, both of them routes.
Something to watch during this game. Kobe Bryant has averaged 30 points per game at the Pepsi Center. That's his highest average in any NBA arena. Now to Mark Jones and John Barry from Denver.
All right, thanks a lot, Matt. Yes, something about this building really gets Kobe Bryant revved up as we take a look at the starting lineups for the respective teams. First of all, for the Los Angeles Lakers, there are 8 different starting lineup on the season so far. This lineup right here, 1-0 on the season. Walton, Mim, Odom up front. In the backcourt, Derek Fisher and Kobe Bryant. Meanwhile, for Denver, Anthony Carter, we talked about him just a few moments ago in the studio. You heard Bill Walton saying what he adds, and he is making his 4th start of the season in the backcourt for Denver. And for more on the injury situation, here's Lisa Salters.
Well, Mark Andrew Bynum won't start tonight, but he will be available for the Lakers after coming down with food poisoning yesterday in Minnesota. He spent much of the day in a Minnesota hospital getting IV fluids. He did not play at all for the Lakers last night. He told me he is feeling better tonight, but he did get more IV fluids today. Don't even bother asking about Kobe Bryant. Of course he's fine. He too was sick yesterday with the stomach flu, but played anyway and says he's 100%. We asked Kobe if he said anything at all to Andrew Bynum about playing while sick, and he said, I didn't say anything at all. I didn't have to. I try to lead by example. He said a lot of people think that playing sick is a matter of will, but it isn't. He said it's a skill. You really have to learn how to play when you're sick. You got to learn what your body can and cannot do when you're not feeling well, and Andrew Bynum will learn that. Mark?
Certainly will. Kobe, one of his mentors, and Kobe last night against Minnesota, John, had 20 points, 13 in the first quarter alone. He got off to a very good start.
Well, he had a light night, 29 minutes. They blew out the Timberwolves, who obviously are very depleted after they lost, who was that guy, Kevin something?
Yeah.
Oh, Kevin Garnett. Yeah, a little depleted up there in Minnesota.
And we are underway here at the Pepsi Center. Carter controlling, bringing it up court for the Denver Nuggets. Nuggets haven't played since a Sunday blowout victory over the Miami Heat. Here's Camby. George Karl likes to get his bigs involved early to get them a couple of touches, and that's going to be a foul against the Los Angeles Lakers.
Or you could say he likes to throw him a bone, Mark, with... And George said it's a little difficult when I have Carmelo and Allen Iverson on the same team to get those big guys some looks.
Here's Camby, last year's Defensive Player of the Year in the NBA. Anthony double team. Martin missing. And the Nuggets get the rebound back. Carmelo Anthony firing. And here come the Los Angeles Lakers. Going to be interesting to see, John, just how much energy they have after getting in at about 1 o'clock in the morning. Kobe Bryant, never seemingly lacking for energy, hits the turnaround.
No, I've never seen him tired. And he loves playing against the Denver Nuggets, and like we talked about, loves this building. We know about him being up here in Colorado for the trial years ago, and he's always played well as Iverson knocks it down.
Allen Iverson came into this game averaging 23.5 points per. 8th highest in the NBA. We're tied at 2, just underway here in the first quarter. Odom fires over Camby, and that's something that Phil Jackson would like to see a lot more of, an aggressive Lamar Odom offensively.
The second leading scorer on the team, averaging just 13 a game.
Anthony had it blocked by Mim. And here comes Kobe Bryant. Double team comes from Camby. Mim missing. And Odom with the cleanup work. Lamar Odom out of the quake quickly with 4 quick points.
And that's the kind of defense that I talked about in the open. That's just lack of hustle. Easy basket there for Mim. Misses it. And Lamar Odom's there to knock it in. No hustle back from the Denver Nuggets.
Martin had it knocked away underneath and out of bounds. It'll be Denver basketball. Kenyon Martin, nice to see him healthy back on the court for the Denver Nuggets. Missed a lot of action over the last couple of years because of microfracture knee surgeries to both his left and his right knee. Here's Iverson working baseline, and Allen Iverson with another bucket.
He is just amazing. He hasn't slowed down one bit. Been in this league forever, and he's playing the same as Mim with a nice jump hook.
Well, Chris Mim out of Texas. Little turnaround on those surgically repaired ankles of his.
But Allen Iverson, Kevin Garnett, 2 superstars. No one plays harder than these 2 guys. I just marvel at how hard they play.
Anthony Carter's going to find himself with a lot of open looks, John, because of double teams on Iverson and Anthony. That time he capitalized.
Well, he's really improved that jump shot, and that's what is going to keep him on the floor. He's got to knock that shot down.
Walton got a nice screen from Derek Fisher to hit the jump shot.
Well, these are 2 teams that are not lacking offensively. We're going to see some points tonight. We've already talked about the defense, and it seems like no one's missed a shot yet.
Kobe Bryant ready for Allen Iverson defensively. Iverson looked at Danny Crawford, couldn't get the call. Melo misfiring. Bryant, the second leading scorer in the NBA coming into tonight's action. Backing down Carter. The fans showering him with a chorus of boos. Fisher off the mark. Martin controls.
Well, Anthony Carter guarding Kobe Bryant is a total mismatch. Kobe Bryant, recognizing that, is going to back Anthony Carter down all night long. That time kicked out to a wide open 3. Fisher was unable to knock it down.
And Iverson draws the contact from Derek Fisher and will go to the foul line for a pair. That's his first personal foul, second team foul.
And Allen Iverson just relentless going to the basket. Uses his body so well, able to get contact, able to finish most of the time at just 6 feet tall.
And you talk about his scoring prowess.
Oh, man.
3rd highest career average scoring.
Those 2 guys are pretty good ahead of him, huh? No titles for AI, though. That one trip to the finals with the Philadelphia 76ers, losing to this Laker team. But I'll tell you, he's a guy that just goes after it each and every night, and you got to respect that.
Derek Fisher finding an opening, missing for the second time. Mim with the putback. And Marcus Camby brings it up court. Double team comes again on Carmelo Anthony. Well, Camby looking for opportunities, having one go astray there. Here's Bryant. Goes right by Martin. And here come the Nuggets, still looking for an opportunity to run. Good transition defense that time by the Lakers. These two teams will run up and down and chuck it a little bit. The 4th and 5th highest scoring teams respectively in the league. In Denver and Los Angeles, Bryant knocks it down.
Well, that's the freedom that George Karl gives his team, and he was kind of amazed of how much freedom Phil Jackson's given this Laker team. You know, it's not as much the triangle. He really has loosened the reins on this ball club as Kobe gets a steal.
Here comes Bryant against Carter. He's going to try and take the ball out of Bryant's hands with a double team.
Well, they have to. Anthony Carter guarding him. And you saw the time down before, Kenyon Martin was on Kobe Bryant. So what does he do? Takes it to the basket.
6 on the shot clock. Fisher from just inside the three-point line. Camby clears.
One of those times where Kobe Bryant had a shot, passed it up.
That's going to be out of bounds. It's going to be Los Angeles basketball coming back the other way. Now the 4th and 5th highest scoring teams in the league, and you look at George Karl, who made a conscious decision a couple of seasons ago to go with a quick game, a fast breaking, a motion type of game to up their scoring, because the previous year in the playoffs 2 years ago, he saw Carmelo Anthony just get doubled and triple teamed. He thought that this style of basketball, John, would provide more opportunities for Anthony.
Well, I agree, and I think also he figured his team can't defend. So you might as well try to outscore him. I think that's a nice way of putting it without saying my team can't defend.
Well, here they are on defense, and they have made a tangible improvement. Bryant knocks it down, and an opportunity for a three-point play coming up.
Just great recognition here. Pulls up, knows he gets fouled, has the strength to be able to still go up and finish. Kobe Bryant, arguably the best player we have in this league.
Bryant in back-to-back games now, in back-to-back nights. Off to a quick start offensively for the Los Angeles Lakers. He has 7 points already, had 13 in the first quarter last night against Minnesota. Here's Carter into the paint. Tipped up and rebounded by Mim.
You know, he seems to me to be warming to this Laker team. I think he really likes these guys, the way that the supporting cast has played.
Lamar Odom blocked but fouled in the act. And Los Angeles, John, in the midst of a 7-0 run. And you talk about the supporting cast, the bench in particular. Kobe effusive in his praise of the way that he's been able to, mentor some of those guys on the bench. Bynum, Farmar, Vujacic, who had a career high against this Nuggets team last time out on Thursday.
Well, they've all played very well. And each night, someone has seemed to step up for this Laker team.
And part of the team building includes some lunch after shoot-arounds. Here's what Bryant had to say about it.
We have lunch together after shoot-around. And, you expect 3 or 4 guys to be there. We had, 10, 12 guys there. I mean, the entire team was there. And we're all just kind of just going with game plan and just shooting around one another.
There's always been a perception of Bryant as the hoop is good underneath. There's always been a perception of Bryant as being a little bit aloof, but there's a tangible difference this year, seemingly in his attitude towards his teammates, as Fisher knocks another one down.
You don't expect a team to hang out after shoot-around and go out to dinner every night. Certainly that's nice, but you just have to be cohesive on the floor. And what I've seen in this Laker team early here in the season is they are. And I think he's been inspired by the play of his supporting cast. And, Kobe's played terrific.
Carter goes cross-court to Iverson on the baseline. And Iverson doing a lot of heavy lifting offensively for the Nuggets tonight. Iverson with 8.
I think he's better off the ball. And that's why Anthony Carter's been inserted back into the lineup since he's been healthy. And Allen Iverson, one of the great scorers that we have. And he's going to do some scoring tonight, I think, Mark Jones.
Been almost a year since he changed colors and wearing a Nuggets uniform. Back after this. The city of Denver aglow at night. The city of Denver in the wake of a World Series appearance by their baseball team. Maybe the Nuggets can follow that act up. Meanwhile, the Los Angeles Lakers this year got off to a very quick start. in light of the fact that there was a lot of rampant speculation as to whether Kobe Bryant would remain a Laker. They started off 7-3 in their first 10 games, but then because of various reasons, chemistry, injuries, lost 5 of their last 8. And they come into tonight's action 10-8 overall after snapping their 3-game losing streak last night in Minnesota. And Kobe Bryant still in a Laker uniform, at least until the trading deadline or before.
He's not going anywhere, Mark. Don't worry about it. I'll tell you this. Phil Jackson might not tell you this, but I think they're very happy to be 10-8 right now. Tough schedule. All that transpired in the preseason. They're happy to be at 10-8. And this is a young team, second youngest team in the league. They're going to go through pitfalls.
Here's Fisher. And Derek Fisher connects on his second consecutive jump shot. And yes, Phil Jackson, meanwhile, signing a 2-year contract extension for a reported $24 million.
24 mil.
An extension that was sitting on the table for quite some time. Here's Martin working against Odom. Got a nice look at it. Martin. And Kenyon Martin on the scoreboard. Kenny Martin coming off a 20-point night on Sunday against the Miami Heat. That is season high for him. Nuggets showed a little bit of a zone look last time down the floor, John. Here's Mim inside. Back out to Walton. Rebounded by Carter. You know, the one thing the Nuggets haven't been able to do so far is get some easy buckets in transition.
No, LA doing a nice job in transition. You know, you always have to be ready with the Nuggets. Iverson hits Melo with the beautiful lob.
Carmelo Anthony's game has grown leaps and bounds over the last couple of years.
No, Mark, I played with him his rookie year, and I just think he's a special player. I think one of the top 3 one-on-one players we have in this game.
And he's one of the guys, if you speak to this Nuggets team, to a man, they say they're capable of winning 60 games in the regular season. Iverson, one of the guys that feels that way, with a soft touch and a good roll. And Denver now to within 4.
Well, 60 games is easier said than done, but they do have the talent to do this. But one of these guys, if not all of them, the big 3 have to step up and get this team playing with some consistent effort night in and night out.
Iverson pulling the trigger again, and the same result. Denver now countering with an 8-0 run. Amongst league leaders in points off of turnovers. Showing you why right there. Walton inside to Mim. And it's one and done at the offensive end for the Los Angeles Lakers. An unremitting Allen Iverson. The foul going to go against Mim. Well, Iverson and Melo on the same frequency, John.
Not only can he score, but he can pass the ball too. And AI going to the rim. Finishes with the best at 6 feet, and then you can't leave him over from 8 feet. AI got his team right back in it.
Remember that Monday when you made gumbo in honor?
All right, thanks a lot, Matt. Yeah, tough with LeBron out, trying to replace some 31 points a game. And for more news around the league, let's go to Lisa.
Well, Mark, here are the news and notes from around the league. The Spurs and the Celtics are the only 2 unbeaten teams left in the NBA. In Cleveland, the Cavaliers matched the offer sheet to Anderson Varejao, so it looks like Andy will be staying in Cleveland. And the Philadelphia Sixers yesterday fired general manager Billy King and hired Ed Stefanski. You know, of course, Allen Iverson had a long-term relationship with Billy King and the Philadelphia 76ers, and I asked him earlier today what his reaction was when he heard the news that Billy King had gotten fired. And he said, you know, a lot of people would just assume that I would be happy the way I left Philadelphia. And he said, that's not the case. I hate to see that happen. That was that man's livelihood. You never want to see a guy lose his job. He said, Billy King gave me an opportunity in Philadelphia, and he also gave me an opportunity to leave Philadelphia and come to a good team. He didn't have to do that. He could have sent me somewhere where I would not have been happy. So I really do appreciate Billy King.
And things working out for Allen Iverson right now with the Denver Nuggets. Radmanovich from the corner knocks down the 3 ball for the Lakers, who go up by 3. Yeah, it's just about a year now that Iverson joined the Denver Nuggets. Out of bounds, it'll be Denver basketball. Actually, that's going to be a foul against Carmelo Anthony. But back to Iverson, you know, you really can't overstate how the transition can be for players when you relocate not only yourself, but there's a whole familial situation that happens. And just recently, Iverson telling me about his family being comfortable now in the area. He's purchased a home here in Denver, and things looking good, and really getting into a comfort zone as Bryant knocks down the jumper for the Lakers.
Well, you're talking to the right guy. I played on 8 teams for 14 years.
You had your own moving van, right?
I did. I had my own company. I kept a few companies in business with all the moving I did. But yeah, you're right. It's not as simple as it seems. Like you pick up and just go play basketball in another city. You got family. You have kids that are in school. And it's not as easy as it always appears. But, Allen Iverson is I'm just a huge fan of his. I think he's a terrific person. And just what he says about Billy King there, that, he doesn't wish any misfortune on anybody. And like you said, he appreciated the opportunity there.
From the baseline, that's J.R. Smith off the feed from AI. Camby couldn't tip it in. And here's Jordan Farmar, one of the real key cogs of that Laker bench, who've been extremely productive of late. Odom on the baseline. That's going to be an offensive foul against Lamar Odom. There are nights where you just can't figure out, if you're Phil Jackson, why Lamar Odom seems a little cursed at the offensive end.
Well, there you see, drives in. Marcus Camby, an excellent guy at taking charges. But Lamar Odom, I just think he's a terrific player. He can do a little bit of everything. He can shoot the basketball. He can put it on the floor. Great size. Can guard multiple positions. And for whatever the reason, he and Kobe Bryant have just not had great success. And it's nothing to do with either of the two guys. It's just maybe not a great match. It's not a match made in heaven.
Yeah. Lamar Odom over the years has been able to deal with a lot of adversity in his personal life. Lost his mother when he was 12 years old, lost his grandmother on her 80th birthday, and a year ago last June, his 6-month-old son Jaden suffocated in his crib.
Just awful.
Lamar Odom, a native of New York City, talented player. Part of Team USA and USA Basketball. And there's always a feeling that he can give you more, though, John. And why is that?
You like to shake. He's one of those guys you look to shake and just say, come on, you got so much talent. But I think the game comes easy to him.
Here's Bryant firing away, and Kobe Bryant. Hey, we mentioned it at the top of the show. He does have, or at least tied for the record for the highest points in a game in this building. And he's already got 11, so stick around. We're under a minute to go here.
Well, speaking of the game being easy, it's really easy for that guy.
J.R. Smith forcing one up.
What in the world?
Well, Bryant has scored 51 points here at the Pepsi Center, tied with Tracy McGrady for the highest output. Darius Miles, believe it or not, at 47.
I was playing in that game that McGrady got 51. I was with the Nuggets that year. So
I thought you were going to say you were with Houston, but
No. He was with Orlando in 03.
Right. Okay.
And I was with the Nuggets, and actually I got the start that night. And I don't know, Tracy probably got about 34 of those on me.
Glad you're coming clean, John.
Nah, hey, Tracy's my guy.
J.R. Smith at the free throw line for the Nuggets, shooting 74% from the stripe on the season. J.R. Smith, the third leading scorer on this Nuggets crew, makes 1 of 2.
Talked to Doug Moe today. He said J.R. Smith over the past couple weeks has been playing excellent basketball. He's always had the talent. Everybody knows that. This kid is sensational, but he's never had the right mindset, and he's playing the right way the past few weeks.
Bynum just checked into the game, and he ran over Carmelo Anthony. Carmelo Anthony still on the court, tying up his shoe, believe it or not. Odom, and that's going to be an offensive foul. Camby got outside that restricted zone, and Carmelo Anthony comes up court hobbling a little bit. Linus Kleza coming in for him. Here's how it happened.
Oh, he fell on the back of mine. That looks like an offensive lineman, when they get rolled up on. Now, let's hope Carmelo's okay. He went right to the right ankle and tried to tie up the shoe, so we'll see if he's okay.
Anthony stretching there on the sidelines.
Speaking of football, Mark, you are quite the college football guru, you and Bob Davie, who I watch every Saturday night in the primetime game. Who's getting the Heisman?
I would vote for McFadden, but that's just me. A lot of people say Tim Tebow.
Okay. I think McFadden's the best pro prospect. I think the best year that anybody's had was Tebow.
Yeah.
So
20 running touchdowns and 20 passing touchdowns. Unprecedented. Here's Kobe Bryant, who's done a lot of the same things unprecedented. That time, speaking of football, tackled at midcourt. And Kobe's still down. He went down hard. The foul's going to go against Nahara.
he went down hard on that left shoulder, like you said, Mark, and that was actually a great foul by Eduardo Nahara. They had a foul to give with just 2.5 seconds to go, but let's hope Kobe Bryant, for all the Laker fans out there, that he is okay.
Longtime trainer Gary Vitti of the Lakers coming out here. How's it happened? He got tripped there by Nahara with his left foot and landing on that left shoulder back after this. Gary Vitti, trainer for the Los Angeles Lakers, attending to Kobe Bryant, who went down just a few moments ago before we went to commercial break. Here's how it happened. He was tripped up by Nahara right there and landed on that left shoulder. And Bryant now going to the sidelines very slowly. And with him, he takes some 27 points a game.
And the hopes of the LA Lakers for the rest of the year, as we see with LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers, who have had a hard time reaching 80 points since LeBron's been out.
Carmelo Anthony on the bench. He was shaken up a few moments ago as well with his right ankle. Ariza into the game for Bryant with 2.5 seconds to go. Farmar launching. Had a good look and came up a little short. Well, that's the end of the first quarter play. Kobe Bryant had 11 on 5 of 6 from the field. And Allen Iverson did some good work for the Denver Nuggets. He had 15. The Nuggets trying to make it 4 straight over the Lakers here at the Pepsi Center. Back with the second period right after this. Good sign for the Denver Nuggets as Carmelo Anthony appears ready to go back into the game. And here's how he was shaken up a few moments ago. That right ankle, he immediately undid his shoe and then did it up a little tighter. Usually the medicine for an ankle injury. And then a few moments after that, Kobe Bryant going to the court hard on that left shoulder. And Kobe Bryant has since gone into the locker room to be tended to by Gary Vitti, the trainer for the Los Angeles Lakers. And we are efforting a report from Lisa Salters in a few moments. Los Angeles basketball as we get started here in the second quarter.
Aren't you amazed that that doesn't happen more in the NBA? That guys go down with the great athleticism, and as Kobe Bryant reappears.
Maybe a temporary inspiration for his teammates as they knock down a jump shot.
Willis Reed is back on the floor.
Not quite the hype as Willis Reed moment.
Of course not.
Radmanovich with the jumper for Los Angeles. He's got 5. 7-point lead for LA. J.R. Smith missed the tip. And here comes Los Angeles, their second unit now in the ball game with Farmar Vujacic, who had a career-high 22 last Thursday against these Nuggets, along with Bynum on the floor. Walton posted up Iverson and made them pay.
Just much too easy. Simple screen and roll there. Iverson switched over to Walton. Felt like he got hit. Took a little flop, and Walton's able to lay it in.
Iverson on the pull-up over Farmar. Allen Iverson with another jump shot. He has 17.
Wow. Well, the Lakers are shooting the ball well. 15 of 26.
Key for the Nuggets, though. Defending here in the half court. Vujacic firing. Martin with the quick outlet to Iverson. They have numbers. Iverson always with numbers and putting up some good ones tonight. 19 with the meter still running.
Real easy. No, it's interesting. The Nuggets, we talk about their defensive struggles, but they're one of the better teams in opponents' field goal percentage at 41%.
Yeah, 5th in the league. Well, for more on Kobe Bryant, let's go to Lisa.
As you guys know, Kobe Bryant back on the Lakers bench. He was not back at the locker room that long, maybe 2 or 3 minutes, just long enough to get checked out by the doctor. The Lakers are calling it a bone bruise, a contusion. As Kobe was coming out of the locker room, I asked him, "Are you okay?" He just gave me a wink and said, "I'm fine." Guys. Yeah,
Kobe Bryant, one of the best conditioned athletes in the entire league. This past summer, dropping some 18 pounds, getting into the gym, into the lab, and boy, Allen Iverson has enough to feed the needy tonight. Woo. Melo can sit a little bit of this one out while Steve Hess works on him.
8 of 10 for 21 points. AI is on fire.
Walton inside. Couldn't get the roll, and here comes J.R. Smith. The Lakers have gotten back on defense. Smith tried to punch it on Bynum, and he got it packed. That's going to be a foul against Denver.
JR taking it into Bynum. Wow. JR, that just happened. Get it out of here.
Well, youth got served, and I'm talking about Andrew Bynum, who just turned 20 years old 3 weeks ago. Look at that block.
Woo-hoo. Clean. They wanted a foul, but that was definitely clean. This guy Bynum is so long.
Let's see what the call is here. It's going to be a foul against Nahara. Andrew Bynum didn't play last night against Minnesota. And here's what Phil Jackson had to say about his development.
I think the biggest thing about Andrew is his stamina is better. And, you know, this conditioning work that he did off season helped. I mean, he dedicated himself to it.
It's definitely helped my rebounding more so than anything, because now a bump under the basket won't really affect me as much. I can still use my length. I still have enough power to get up. You know, and then upper body strength is big too for like holding guys out of the lane.
When you fatigue, you know, all men are cowards. That's what was said. You know.
Well, we all know about the well-documented tutelage of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, or with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Barry Bynum with the catch underneath. Radmanovich off the nice feed from the youngster Bynum.
Well, that was a nice feed. Great look. He got a lob. He wasn't able to finish. Found Radmanovich, and this guy's 7 feet tall, but he's got the wingspan of about a guy 7'5" or 6".
He is long. That time couldn't corral the rebound. Bynum, a couple of years ago at 18 years old, was the youngest player ever to play in the NBA. Radmanovich from the same spot, same result. And we're going to have a technical foul called against the Denver Nuggets.
Kenyon Martin thought he was hit by Bynum on the other end on the strip and let Danny Crawford know about it. And Danny, as great officials should do, waited for the play to happen. Lakers able to knock down the 3, and then he gives Kmart the technical.
Once again, the Laker bench putting up some big results. And right now, Los Angeles leading by 9 when we come back.
ESPN's presentation of NBA Wednesday. Brought to you by the stylish 2008 Mercury Milan. Mercury, new doors open.
A look at the 16th Street Mall here in downtown Denver. Just 19 more shopping days until Christmas Day. And Vladimir Radmanovich, the leader of the bench. And remember, the last time these two teams met, the Nuggets gave up 127 points. There was a 17-point lead that Denver held in the first half of that game, only to lose by 28.
Well, I asked Phil Jackson about that, and he said when Denver built that 17-point lead, they were turning over. They had 9 turnovers in the first quarter. Denver got out to that huge lead, and then, like we saw, L.A. just came back and dominated the rest of that game.
Vladimir Radmanovich having a good first half here for the Lakers, now showing a little full-court pressure, and they almost turned the Nuggets over. Here's Carmelo Anthony, who checked in during the break.
That's why you don't see many presses in the NBA, because you should always get a good shot. Don't panic. Get the ball in the middle of the floor, and you're going to get a good shot every time.
Guys handle the ball too well, I guess. 8-point lead for the Lakers. Radmanovich has scored 10 points in the period so far for LA. Good ball movement to the weak side, inside to Radmanovich again. Blocked by Martin underneath, out of bounds. It'll be Los Angeles basketball. Well, Kenyon Martin has looked very explosive in the last couple of games. They're able to get up and make the block.
That's great to see. Last year missing the entire season with the microfracture surgery, and he has played tremendous.
Vujicic had to beat the shot clock. Here's Iverson through traffic like he usually does, just doing what he does.
Through traffic and over the 7-foot Andrew Bynum. AI 9 for 11. The rest of the team 5 of 20. And he's 7 in a row for AI. 7 field goals in a row for Iverson. He's got it going.
Single-handedly keeping his team in the ball game. That's the 4th three-pointer and 4 in a row for Radmanovich. Go back a year ago, and Vladimir Radmanovich was what Phil Jackson called a space cadet, quote-unquote. This after his skiing injury, and boy, this is an out-of-world, out-of-body experience right now by Iverson, talking about space cadets. Wow.
Well, I didn't expect to see an Iverson-Radmanovich scoring bonanza here, but Radmanovich, somebody guard this guy.
Now, who's covering him, John?
Allen?
Who wants to claim that they're covering him?
But look at this. This ball hits the top right corner of the glass, and Radmanovich has now hit 4 3-pointers, 3 of them from the same exact spot, wide open.
Walton with a nice ball fake, and he finds himself with an open look and makes another jump shot. So with 7:08 to go in the first half, Los Angeles shooting 56% from the field. Iverson just going to work on Farmar. His jumper is wet. Vujicic from downtown.
Ooh, in and out.
Down and out.
You know, this reminds me of Nolan Richardson, the former.
Anthony fouled on the play by Bynum.
The former great Arkansas coach. He used to say of them, there's no defense. It's your turn, my turn. And that's what's going on here. It's a your turn, my turn as Allen Iverson hits his 9th in a row. Taking the little Jordan Farmar to school, posting him up. And Carmelo Anthony trying to finish over the lengthy Andrew Bynum gets fouled, and Kobe Bryant is going to reemerge here.
Maybe his way of saying, hey, Allen, I got the scoring record in this building, okay?
Wait a second, let me get a piece of this action.
Kobe Bryant back into the ballgame for the first time since landing on that left shoulder. Went to the locker room, as our Lisa Salters reported, for just a moment and came right back out.
And he had it going too, 5 of 6. Allen Iverson, 27 points in 17 minutes played. Please don't take him out, George Karl. I want to see. We could see something really, really special here tonight.
And keep in mind that last year after the trade, Iverson actually ended up taking 6 fewer field goals per game. So no problems with him getting comfortable in these environs now with the Nuggets. Bryant back out to Radmanovich. 7 on the shot clock. Lamar Odom wide open. And Fisher in the backcourt for Los Angeles. They'll get another opportunity. They load up on Kobe once again. Doesn't matter though. Radmanovich with good hustle. Another opportunity for LA. That is his spot. He doesn't have the papers on it, but he's certainly leasing that corner of the court. He's 5 for 5 from downtown.
Goodness gracious.
Carmelo Anthony cross court. Klaiza for 3. And a 3-point frenzy now in the court between these two teams.
You know, Mark, I just looked over and I see Doug Moe over there. Is he the head coach? This is the Nuggets of the 80s. Where's Kiki Vandeweghe and Dan Issel?
Radmanovich missing for the first time from downtown, maybe because he wasn't on his spot. Anthony back down court for the Nuggets.
I remember the 186-184 Detroit Pistons, Denver Nuggets. We might get there.
Free-flowing basketball, once the signature of Doug Moe's Nuggets. You think Iverson could have played for him back in the day? No doubt.
Man. He'd have had 60, 70 every 3 nights. AI, 27 points. And Vladimir Radmanovich, the space cadet, says, wait a second, I can hit the 3-ball too, AI.
Matt Weiner back in the studio with his Taco Bell update. Kings have won 2 in a row, but they suffer a huge loss on an off day with the news that Kevin Martin is expected to miss 4 to 6 weeks after suffering a groin injury last night. He, of course, is the Kings' leading scorer, averaging 24.5 per night.
Boy, tough blow for Sacramento. He was one of the top vote getters and most improved player of the year a season ago. And boy, what about the performance of Allen Iverson tonight? 27 points here in the first half with the meter still running. His last 9 shots.
11 for 13.
You know, he was telling me when he first moved to Denver, when he was traded here almost a year ago, that, believe it or not, the altitude was a bit of a factor for him. It took him a couple of weeks to get acclimated to it, John. That's something that you would know about in playing for this franchise at one point. But he's always been a supremely conditioned athlete. Runs the mile in about 4.5 minutes.
Well, you know what the toughest thing, Mark, of playing here is, yeah, it's tough to get in shape, but once you get in shape, it's when you leave for an extended road trip and then you come back. It's very, very difficult coming back after you've been down at sea level for more than a week or so.
Felt it on the treadmill this morning too, didn't you? Anthony missing.
Thank you for telling everybody I worked out today. It was very brief, but it was a workout.
You look at the tireless efforts of Allen Iverson and talked about his stamina at 32 years old. Many people thought that he might be showing signs of wear and tear at this point. Certainly haven't seen much evidence of it. Here's Fisher in the front court for the Lakers. Back out to Bryant. Nice feed inside for Mim. And he was blocked by Martin. 6 seconds to go on the shot clock with 5:01 to go here in the first half. That's the third block for Martin.
When we talk about the big three, Kenyon Martin, #1 pick, pretty good player in this league for a number of years before that surgery.
Bryant right over the top of Carter. That's going to be a foul underneath. And folks, good games on the docket this week. Thursday on TNT, the Nuggets take on the Mavericks. That's a quick back-to-back for Denver, followed by the Heat at the Blazers. Then on ESPN Friday, a double dip for you. The Bulls taking on the Pistons, followed by the Jazz at the Spurs. Then on NBA TV Saturday night, it's the Jazz taking on the Mavericks. Odom missing the first of 2.
Now, I see those teams and so many surprises. I mean, what about the Chicago Bulls? Can you imagine after such a terrific year last year, they get through the first round, they sweep the Miami Heat, play Detroit pretty tough, and for this to happen, I just never would have saw that coming. I really thought they were going to be one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference.
Easily the biggest disappointment so far in the East. Anthony underneath. Blocked. Missed a second time, but fouled on the second attempt. And Carmelo Anthony will go to the free throw line where he shoots some 80%. That's the foul against Chris Mim, his second personal, second team foul. Carmelo Anthony lauding his experiences with Team USA this past summer. Said it's made him a much better basketball player. And he was easily one of the top 3 players on that team. And when you talk about the company he was keeping, that's really saying something. Folks, coming up on the Toyota Halftime Show with Matt Weiner and company. The Cavaliers without LeBron James again tonight. The Celtics big 3 and the Mavs taking on the Spurs.
I think I'm going to come up with a new name for the Cavaliers. It's the LeBron Ears. Because when he's not there, they have no chance to win.
Well, at least they'll have Anderson Varejao back in the fold soon. They elected to match the offer sheet from Charlotte.
Well, really, in essence, the Charlotte Bobcats did the Cavaliers a favor.
Fisher for 3. He'll get another crack. Looking like a shooting drill from that right baseline, John Barry.
2 for $1. Nobody wants to go over there. What's the problem?
And George Carlin, watching the tape, has said that he's noticed Derek Fisher starting to knock down a lot of his three-point shots. Fisher shooting 38% from downtown this season. He has 7 there, committing the blocking foul on Carter.
And George Carlin saying that he felt like Derek Fisher was one of the top 4 or 5 open three-point shooters that we have in the league.
He's made so many big shots, especially in playoff games with the Los Angeles Lakers in his previous tenure in Los Angeles. Fisher left some $21 million on the table when he was let loose from his contract by the Utah Jazz to attend to the health of his daughter. And for more on his daughter Tatum, who had retinal blastoma, here's Lisa Salters.
Well, Mark, I was talking to Derek today, and great news that that revolutionary procedure that Tatum underwent. She had 3 procedures, shrunk that tumor by 60%, and Derek says that now they don't have to go to the doctor every 2 or 3 weeks like they did before. They go every 6 weeks. They went last week. Tatum seems to be doing very, very well. And the good news, her twin brother Drew has shown no signs of the disease at all. They did a genetic test to see if it was hereditary, and they would have to worry. It is not, and they do not have to worry about Drew coming down with this disease at all.
That's great news, Lisa. And you know, there are some skeptics, that always will be, that question the timing of his being able to get let loose from his contract as Brian knocks down a bank shot. But certainly you can't question the integrity. If you know anything about Derek Fisher, the president of the Players Association, and what he has meant to the NBA, no, it's certainly something that he did in best interest of his family. Here's the Lakers up court.
A terrific person, and as Lamar Odom fires up another 3-ball, boy, this is...
Well, the Nuggets had been running people off the three-point line pretty well up until this game, John Barry.
Not today. This is a glorified pickup game in the old gym.
And Martin tries to sky for the rebound. Couldn't get a handle on it. One of the rare misses by Iverson. And for more on Martin, we'll hear about the arduous rehabilitation process that he has been through throughout the last couple of years. Lisa Salters will tell you more about his comeback road when we come back. Good sign for the Denver Nuggets to have Kenyon Martin back in the lineup this year after missing virtually all of last season. There has been a litany of injuries that he's been able to go through and endure through the course of his NBA career. 9 games in 03-04, 12 games the season after that to his knee, and then he's the only player in the NBA to undergo microfracture surgery on both his left and his right knee. Last year missing 80 games, and for more on the road back, here's Lisa Salters.
And Mark, that road to recovery is still going on, the rehab and ongoing process. Before every game, home and away, Kenyon Martin and strength and conditioning coach Steve Hess have a brief but intense workout. It's just 5 minutes long, but they hit it, and they hit it hard. And I was asking Kenyon about it. The fact that he does it right before a game, doesn't it wear him out? And he said, you know what, I'm used to it now, and because of Steve Hess, he said that my legs feel better than they ever felt before, stronger than ever before.
Yeah, Lisa, he's down to 235 pounds, and he feels that that's going to benefit the wear and tear. It'll lessen the wear and tear on his knees. Fisher almost turned it over. 10 seconds to go on the shot clock for the Lakers, who lead by 9. Odom. Mim with another offensive rebound, but he lost control of it.
Steve Hess, otherwise known as Mini-Me.
Nahara underneath.
Great look, Carmelo Anthony. One of the best strength coaches that we have in this league. And I'm glad we saw that, because it's not what people think, that these guys just show up as Melo gets a steal.
A 2-on-1. Iverson might have been better off just taking it himself.
A little too unselfish.
Nice pass to Mim from Odom. He lost the handle, but gets the and one.
A little nonchalant by Allen Iverson, cost his team 3 on the other end.
Look at the nice touch pass by Odom. And Chris Mim will go to the free throw line trying to complete the three-point play.
You know, Mark, I was saying that I'm glad we saw that, because Kenyon Martin, the time he puts in just to be able to come out here and compete, and that goes for so many of these great athletes that we see. There's a lot of work that goes in to get themselves ready to play in an NBA basketball game.
Mim missing. And the Lakers having their way on the offensive glass with Denver tonight. Bryant into the paint. And the Nuggets looking for the run out. Carter with the leg. And the Lakers looking for numbers coming back. Bryant thought about the 3, and Odom with an easy flush. Los Angeles with 60 points in the first half so far.
Just poor transition defense again. Denver Nuggets allowing an uncontested dunk. Got to get back.
Kobe Bryant denying the ball to Iverson, but boy, if you blink, Iverson can sting you, which he does. Allen Iverson with a superb first half, 29 points.
Man, that was a good couple weeks for me.
Fisher into the paint. Maybe the Lakers had one of those meditation sessions like they did last week before the game against the Nuggets. Carter got it back. Iverson fouled by Walton. Iverson has already tied his third highest output of the season. He's gone for 37 against Cleveland a few weeks ago. Do you see any signs of him slowing down?
I haven't seen any. I mean, obviously, he hasn't had the great scoring nights that we have been accustomed to seeing him. But when you have a Carmelo Anthony by your side, you don't need to. When you have guys like J.R. Smith playing well off the bench, and Marcus Camby and Kenyon Martin, you can lighten the load for him.
Well, folks, visit NBA.com, where you can vote to send your favorite player to New Orleans for NBA All-Star Saturday, and the All-Star Game 2008. Vote daily in 20 different languages with the All-Star ballot presented by T-Mobile, online exclusively at NBA.com. Under a minute to go here in the first half. Odom on the drive. Didn't get back in bounds in time. All in all, John Barry, Denver down by just 7 points despite some porous defense at times.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we talked about it earlier in the week. Kobe Bryant, they call him for the foul. Looked like a pretty good block. But these teams played last week. Denver up 17 in the first quarter, wound up losing that game by 28. 46-point fourth quarter for the LA Lakers. Oh, I don't know. Let's see if he gets the arm here. That looked like all on the hand. Absolutely. Great call by David Jones.
Allen Iverson goes to the foul line, where he shoots 79% so far this season. Vujacic comes in for Kobe Bryant after his third personal foul. Allen Iverson, 32 years old. And as relentless as he has ever been, has 33 points here in the first half. Wow.
Has he been out of the game? I don't believe he's been out of the game yet, Mark.
Always amongst league leaders in minutes played. Fisher in the corner. Vujacic wide open for three. And he knocks down another, actually just inside the three-point line. They're going to call it a 2.
Mark, time after time. I mean, wide open shots for the LA Lakers. They haven't had anybody contest any shot in this first half.
Well, Denver's got the ball with the right guy right now. 2 on the clock. Now a three-point shooting frenzy by both teams so far. Well, that wouldn't have counted if it did go in. It has to touch a player. Allen Iverson with his best first half of the season so far, 33 points. And here's Lisa Salters with Kobe.
Thanks, Mark. Kobe, you went down hard. What happened on that play where you hurt your shoulder?
I slid right on top of my shoulder, and it was just a tough way to fall.
How does it feel now? I saw you icing it on the bench, but how does it feel right now?
It feels okay. It's just achy, but it's all right.
And on the defensive side, Allen Iverson going off for 33 points. You guys are happy with what you're doing on the boards, and you have the lead, but what do you have to do to slow that guy down?
Well, he's kind of playing the way that he used to play, and which kind of caught us off guard. So, second half, just got to pay a little bit more attention to him.
All right, thanks a lot, Kobe.
Wouldn't be surprised if Kobe asked for the challenge of guarding him a little bit more.
Exactly what I was thinking, Mark. Exactly. Kobe Bryant will take that challenge.
Well, the Denver Nuggets trailing by 4 points at the break. They've won 3 straight over the Lakers here at the Pepsi Center. It's a 4-point game at the break. And Allen Iverson has his fingerprints all over this first half. Matt Weiner and company will be in the studio with the Toyota Halftime Show right after these messages. Los Angeles leading by 4, 62-58 at the break. I'm Mark Jones along with John Barry, Lisa Salters joining us in just a few moments. A very compelling first half, John Barry, when you look at the performance, the ebb and flow of it, and especially as it pertains to Allen Iverson, who is simply transcendent in that first half as we look at our Sirius satellite radio game track.
Well, if you hate defense, this was the half for you because it wasn't played by either club. Allen Iverson, unbelievable, 12 of 15 from the field. Kobe Bryant came back after a little shoulder injury, went to the locker room for a few minutes, and the Lakers got a huge lift from Vladimir Radmanovic, who hit 5 of 6 from downtown. a great offensive half by both clubs. It's going to come down to who can make some stops. Somebody's got to play some defense.
And Allen Iverson tying his career high in a half with 33 points. Iverson looking for a little bit more here in the second half. As we go to Lisa Salters.
Well, Mark, I asked George Karl about his team's defense, and he said, well, the good news is we didn't really give up a lot of layups. And I was like, yeah, I guess so, Coach. But he said what really surprised them was the Lakers' tempo in the first half, that they're really surprised by how fast the Lakers are playing. And he said, I would hope that in the second half, we will be the energy team. About the threes that have been killing the Nuggets, he said a lot of those have been circumstantial. The ball has just kind of bounced their way, bounced out to them, giving them more looks. So hopefully we can cut those down as well.
It's interesting how George Karl, over the last couple of years with this Denver Nuggets team, John, and the makeup of the team has transitioned from a coach that really stressed defensive postulates to an offensive guy.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Seattle was known for a lot of gimmick defense, but they were excellent defensive teams. I mean, you talk about Marcus Camby and Kenyon Martin, two terrific frontline defenders. The perimeter letting this team down as Camby grabs his 10th board.
Here's Carter at the offensive end, lobbing it up high for Martin, who couldn't find the handle. And an empty possession for the Denver Nuggets. And Bryant, you talk about a push-off. That's about as classic a push-off as you're going to get, as Allen Iverson might go 165 pounds, and he was propelled here. More importantly, that's the fourth personal foul against Bryant, who now takes a seat on Jackson's bench.
A huge play. Great little dive there by Allen Iverson, because I know he didn't get shoved that hard, but smart play.
Well, turnabout might be fair play, because the last time these two teams met, there was a bit of a flop by Vujicic.
Well, let's take a look. I thought it was a little dive there, and I'm still going to agree with that, Mark. A slight push. No need for him to go flying into the third row. Clearly he did push.
Meanwhile, that was the third personal foul against Luke Walton. Said Iverson only goes about 165 pounds, so it's, you can see him being thrown that far. Look at some of the numbers on the season for him. Had 37 earlier this year against Cleveland, already at 33.
It's just 2 30-point games for AI this season. And 33 at the half. He was hitting it from all angles. The old AI. We thought he was slowing down, Mark. There's no inclination of that.
Odom gets it back from Mim, and Odom pulls the trigger and finds the range. Mar Odom knocks it back to a 4-point game. Odom with 14. Maybe as quiet a 14 as you've seen from him so far this year. And Iverson, as is his wont, makes his way back to the free throw line once again. Always amongst league leaders in free throw attempts.
Well, he always puts pressure on the defense. And look at this little sliver that he gets through there as Vujicic bumps him. Clear foul, but Allen Iverson used to be, no question, the fastest guy in the league with the basketball. Now, I mean, there's a few guys you can talk about. TJ Ford, lightning quick. You know, I was up in that category back in the days.
Iverson coming off a 20-point game against the Miami Heat in their last run on Sunday night. First night of a tough back-to-back for the Denver Nuggets. Tomorrow night they'll take on the Dallas Mavericks in Dallas. Mim back out to Odom, thought about it, and fires away. Camby almost tipped it in, and Luke Walton made sure. Lead back up to 5 for Los Angeles. Iverson on the drive-by.
Oh, man. You can't blink with these two teams. The ball's going up. I was going to say the LA Lakers 10 offensive rebounds.
Iverson with 36. Martin, and that's going to be a foul against Los Angeles. Good hustle by Anthony Carter, providing a lot of energy since rejoining the team from a broken hand that he suffered earlier this season. That's the 4th foul against Walton. Radmanovic coming back into the game. He had a very hot first half, had 17 points. Walton sits down. The Lakers with a lot of confidence collectively in their bench so far this year. The second most productive bench in the NBA. Martin out top, and you see the advantage that the Laker bench has so far. Melo. And the lead is down to 1. That time Anthony closed out on Radmanovic. Odom fouled by Martin. That's the first team foul against Denver in the half.
Left-handed. Do people realize that he's left-handed? He goes left 99.8% of the time, and yet he still finds a way to get there.
Odom at the foul line where he shoots 72% on the season, had 9 points and 9 rebounds last night against Minnesota. Bryant watching this one from the bench, that ice pack on his shoulder. And Odom coming off shoulder surgery a season ago. Still kind of rounding into form. He has 15 points so far this evening. It's a 2-point ball game just underway here in the third quarter. Kenyon Martin into the paint and finishing strong, fouled by Mim. That's going to be the third foul against Chris Mim.
A little elbow action there. Kenyon Martin gets an isolation on the elbows. Anthony Carter sets a pick, and Kenyon Martin.
Lisa chronicled his comeback from microfracture knee surgery to both knees a little bit earlier. He told me prior to the game tonight that he came back from that first one much too early. Came back in just 5 months. Second time around, used better discretion. And Los Angeles calls a timeout with 9:24 to go here in the third quarter. Kobe Bryant watching this one from the bench. Back with more from the Pepsi Center right after this. High-scoring game here at the Pepsi Center, 67-65, and there's Doug Moe, assistant coach with the Nuggets. One in the name of Alex English and Kiki Vandeweghe and Fat Lever is going on, you ask? Well, here he is explaining the intricacies and nuances of NBA offense.
So we run the passing game, which if you take this line here, this line here, this line here, and this line here, and you play in between there and have a good time, you'll end up scoring. So forget the plays. Just go out there, have a good time, run around like a chicken with your head cut off, make those stiffs run and chase you on defense a little bit, and you too can win a few games.
He should put that clinic to video, John Barry.
Oh, man, Doug Moe, he is one of the classics, and he's got to be proud of the way this game's going tonight, because this is right up his alley.
Well, don't let him rope-a-dope you into thinking that he doesn't know anything about offensive basketball, because he does. His Denver Nuggets team, circa 85-86, were some of the most prolific NBA teams ever.
Make those stiffs fall at you around.
They did that play, didn't they?
Absolutely not. I ran into Bill Hanslick at halftime. He said this was reminding him of his years when he played here for Doug Moe.
That foul goes against Marcus Camby, his second personal foul. That sends Chris Mim to the free throw line. Chris Mim for the Los Angeles Lakers missed most of last year with ankle issues. There's a look at Moe once again on the sidelines. And, well, if George Karl is going to lean on somebody, and somebody that can lend an ear once in a while, who better than Doug Moe if George Karl is going to decide to go the offensive route with this Nuggets team?
Well, part of that North Carolina family. You learned it from Dean Smith, and it's a tight-knit group. And Doug Moe, seen a lot of NBA games in his time.
3-point ball game, Lakers with the lead. Iverson off the baseline screen. I'm not sure this is the matchup the Lakers want, because Iverson took the blowtorch to Vujacic again. Allen Iverson, after 33 in the first half, now with 38. Odom on the wing for the Lakers. Kobe Bryant on the bench for Los Angeles with 4 personal fouls. Fisher from just inside the 3-point line. Anthony on the quick post up. That's going to be a kick ball against Carter.
Well, Iverson just having his way with whoever's on him. This time Vujicic gets the little step back on him, fading to his left, which he's so dangerous at doing. AI 38 with 8 minutes and change left in the third.
10 on the shot clock. Carter finds himself open, and Camby keeps it alive. Well, the thing about Iverson is his field goal percentage tonight has been beyond reproach. 14 of 17 from the field. And that's going to be a palming violation against Carmelo Anthony. Danny Crawford with the call with just under 8 minutes to play here in the second half. I'm Mark Jones along with John Barry. Lisa Salters courtside. Kobe Bryant watching with 4 personal fouls and an ice pack on that left shoulder. An injury he suffered in the second period when he's tripped up by Eduardo Nájera. That's going to be out of bounds. Denver basketball.
I'm a bit surprised that Derek Fisher's not guarding Allen Iverson. Derek Fisher, an excellent defender. And they've decided to go with Vujicic on him.
Vujicic with a little more length, but I'm not sure, John, that it matters at this point.
No. I mean, anybody that's guarded AI tonight has gotten a taste.
Anthony off the mark, rebounded by Odom. Question begs, where are the points going to come from without Kobe Bryant on the floor right now for Los Angeles? Will it be Odom? Maybe Fisher. Why not?
Crowd wanted to travel there from Lamar Odom.
And Anthony got picked. Good hustle by Anthony Carter. Iverson with a show and go. Camby winds it up. And Mims with a rebound.
Now you have a guy that's got 38 points, 2 possessions in a row. He doesn't get a shot. You know, Carmelo forces one. Marcus Camby there from just inside the 3-point line. You know, get this guy the basketball. He's 12, 14 to 17.
Los Angeles goes into Mims. Vujicic with a good ball fake, and he didn't get it off in time. Shot clock violation against the Los Angeles Lakers as Jordan Farmar checks into the game for Phil Jackson.
A lucky break there by the Nuggets. A weak double team. Mim able to split it. Finds an open Vujicic, but the clock runs out on him.
Now, John, you brought up an interesting point. Denver trying to find the right guy, the hot hand. George Karl has challenged his big three. Iverson, Carmelo Anthony, and Camby, telling them basically, if you guys can get me 20 combined assists, hey, you know what? I'm going to write you a blank check to do what you want to do in offense.
Well, he says if you get 20 and we lose that game, it's on him.
Iverson blocked at the rim that time by the Lakers. And it's a 4-on-2. Odom with the right-handed, the weak-handed finish. And it's a 5-point lead for Los Angeles.
The 20 assists out of those 3 players, and George Karl feels like they're going to win 95% of the time. Tonight, they have 6 assists. A little different because AI has got it going.
Melo with 8 on the shot clock.
Again, another possession that AI doesn't get a look.
Allen Iverson with 38 in the game. Anthony Carter with a steal. And a wise foul that time.
That's going to be a breakaway foul, though, Mark.
Clear path.
Clear path.
And it's going to go against Lamar Odom, his 3rd personal. They will get free throws and the ball. And that was the 15th foul against Los Angeles in the period. So they're in the penalty. Denver, conversely, with just 2 team fouls. Anthony Carter back after missing some time because of an injury. And for more, here's Lisa.
Remember, Anthony Carter was playing in Italy last year. Wasn't even in the association. I spoke to him before the game, and he said to him, defense is absolutely the most important. He said, passing the ball, playing great defense, that's what I'm on this team to do. That's what I get paid to do. Marcus Camby, Kenyon Martin, Allen Iverson, those guys can score. I'm here to pass and play defense.
Well, he certainly knows his role, Lisa. Farmar blew the layup. And here's Iverson. Well, at least he's getting a touch this time. And then some. And one. Answers abound tonight for the Nuggets and Iverson.
Give it to him every time. He's got the feel tonight, that's for sure. Always going left. He's so dangerous. Gets the contact. Jump stop, elevate, and finish. Allen Iverson with 40.
His 79th career 40-point game.
All right, we put the over-under at a number that I don't even want to say, Mark. You took the over, I took the under. I'm in big trouble.
I think you are.
I thought he was going to slow down this half, but he's picked it up right where he left off. And we got a tie game. The Nuggets need to stop and score to lead for the first time tonight.
The only time that this game was tied, other than now, was at 2-2. Here's Odom. Bryant still on the bench. Odom left it short. Got it back, but pushed off.
Yep. That's 4 on Lamar Odom, Mark.
So now he joins Kobe Bryant with 4 personal fouls. And he's going to watch the way that he protests this call. One more look at it.
Denver back in that zone, I guess you can call it that. And a little shove in the back, right in Marcus Camby. I thought that was a good call. I don't know what we're going to call that zone. That's the Lakers tore it apart in the first half, and Denver went there to try to change the tempo.
Camby missing the free throw. Trevor Ariza comes in. Well, tomorrow on TNT, the Nuggets going to jump on a plane actually tonight and get their way to Dallas. They play against the Mavericks at 8 o'clock, followed by the Heat and the Blazers. ESPN Friday, the Bulls and the Pistons at 7, and followed by the Jazz and the Spurs. Then on NBA TV Saturday, it's the Jazz taking on the Dallas Mavericks. Mavericks in a big one tonight in San Antonio. Right here, we're tied at 73. Camby with an opportunity to give the Nuggets their first lead of the game, and he blows it. Iverson will gladly take that challenge on. Going to work on Farmar. Justin Jordan Farmar. 43. Oh. Allen Iverson lighting up the night here at the Pepsi Center. And the first lead of the game for the Denver Nuggets. Radmanovic finally missing from that three-point spot. Iverson getting his groove on. Draws the contact, and he's got dap for everybody, even the fans courtside.
Oh, my goodness. Does he smell blood in the water? Going left again, a little fadeaway. This time on Farmar, and this time he gets him to go for the pump fake. Draws the foul, and the crowd rises. Giving it up for AI, who's torching the Lakers tonight, Mark.
Something brewing special tonight for Allen Iverson, as the Nuggets now with a 3-point lead. It was about a year ago this time that he was traded from Philadelphia to Denver. The expectations rose exponentially upon his arrival here at the Pepsi Center. And Allen Iverson now with his most points ever as a Nugget at 45 with plenty of time remaining.
And the Nuggets in, I don't know what to call this, the amoeba?
Kind of a quasi-zone, but
wide open. Another wide open three-point look. This time it's Farmar. I don't know what we could call that zone. I know it's a zone, but it's Swiss cheese is what I'm going to call it, because there's holes all over the place, Mark.
Certainly looked that way this time. Iverson working against Fisher. Oh, my God. Stop! Allen Iverson. That jump shot's still wet.
Oh, my.
47 on 17 of 21 from the field. Torrid shooting case by AI. Fisher trying to answer, and he's fouled by Iverson. Iverson, his 47, the most ever by a Nugget against the Lakers. The high prior to that was held by Alex English at 45.
Well, that 51, we can go ahead and take that one out of the books.
Kobe kind of helpless to stop that. You would think at this point on the bench with an ice pack on that bruised left shoulder.
I don't think he's been out of the game yet, Mark. He's played the whole way.
Well, we talked about Steve Hess and his work with the different players here in Denver. He says that Allen Iverson is genetically a freak of nature when you look at his stamina. And pound for pound, one of the strongest guys, believe it or not, on this Nuggets team. And taking the load offensively on his shoulders right now inside to Carter. Anthony for three. Long rebound off the long shot. And Ariza back the other way, had it knocked away, but a foul on Marcus Camby.
Well, it looked like the Lakers went into the zone there themselves.
They did?
To try to stop Allen Iverson. Carmelo jacks up a quick three. And off to the races goes Trevor Ariza, who was just brought over from Orlando in the deal with Brian Cook.
And Brian Cook and Maurice Evans making their way to Orlando. Allen Iverson on pace to break the building record of 51. As Ariza knocks the game at 79.
I got a good feeling that's going to happen, Mark. Like in the next 3.5 minutes, I believe it's going to happen.
And Ariza gives the Lakers the lead once again with 3:33 to go here in the third quarter of play. Iverson now being guarded by Farmar, and now they run a double team at him. Maybe a wise move, trying to take the ball out of his hands a little bit, John.
Well, maybe the Detroit Pistons should have tried that last year against LeBron James. As we saw him go for 30 of the last 31 for the Cavaliers last year in a Game 6 in Detroit, I believe, or Game 5.
Another transcendent performance by LeBron in the playoffs. Everybody waiting on the edge of their seats collectively here at the Pepsi Center, waiting for more magic and pyrotechnics from Allen Iverson. Nahara from downtown. And a 2-point lead for the Nuggets. Denver feeding off of Iverson right now. That's going to be a block against Anthony. Time onto the floor. Denver with a 2-point lead. Still riding the wave, led by Allen Iverson. The meter still running with plenty of time to go. Back with more after this. Allen Iverson tearing his way through the record books tonight. Right now with 47 points, the most points ever allowed by a Laker team. Wilt Chamberlain. So stick around. That's when he was with Philadelphia. Dipper. And Allen Iverson is dipping into his offensive arsenal tonight. A tireless, relentless approach.
And this has all been primarily jump shots. You know, he's gotten to the paint 4 or 5 times. He hasn't taken a three-point shot. So it's been his mid-range games. Few drives to the hoop. Boy, he has been unstoppable.
And let's go to Lisa for more on AI.
Well, Mark, George Karl just told his team, look, obviously everybody in the building knows they're going to throw more and more bodies at Allen Iverson. Allen, look to pass the ball. Obviously, if you've got your shot, take it, but look to pass the ball. And the first thing Allen Iverson said to his teammates, then you better make a play.
I like that kind of leadership. I'm going to give it up.
Pass the ball.
Well, if they triple team him.
Pass it? You're talking about passing.
Here he is.
Forget that. Go for it. This guy is on fire. If they're not throwing double teams at him, let him ISO all day.
Here he is, getting a screen from Camby out top. Farmar. Nice feed inside.
See?
And Nahara.
Shoot it, AI.
Nahara missed the reverse layup.
Now that was a great pass, great penetration. Help defense came over, found Nahara with a beautiful look.
And Allen Iverson, interesting to note that near a career high, well over 7 assists per game this season. Dropped a dime there, John.
Well, no need to do that tonight. When you're 17 and 21, go ahead and look for your shot. He's got 3 assists. But you don't worry about that. But that was a great basketball play. Hey, we got to think about winning the ball game. You're in a 2-point game. Yes, he's on fire, but you still got to make the right play, and he did right there.
Nahara knocks down both foul shots. Kobe Bryant watching this from the sidelines.
Will we see him?
To go. Yeah, he's got 4 personal fouls, as does Lamar Odom.
Well, you think we'll see him guarding AI in the fourth quarter as Radmanovic hoists again? After
making 4 3-pointers in the first half, Radmanovic now is falling cold. Iverson in the open court, lobs it up high, and Smith couldn't get the handle. Ariza back to Radmanovic, Fisher in the corner.
Was that George Karl yelling, "Quit passing the ball, AI"?
Here's Farmer out top. Inside to Bynum. Bynum to a wide open Ariza. Rebounded by Carmelo Anthony.
And that's the part of Ariza's game that he needs to work on. Just a jump shooter. He's a great athlete. Good around the basket. Can run the floor. Can defend. Got to show he can make a standstill jump shot.
Iverson out top. Works the screen from Anthony. Now they run the double team out. Smith partially blocked by Ariza. And Smith knocked it down. Here's Nahara. Iverson steps through, and one of his few misses on the night, just his 5th miss from the field in 22 attempts.
He thought he got hit on the head, telling Danny Crawford.
And Fisher knocks down the foul line jumper. It's back to a 1-point ball game. Los Angeles trying to snap a 3-game losing streak against Denver here in the Pepsi Center. Anthony with a nice spin move right over the top of Radmanovic.
What a pretty move. Spin move. Radmanovic played great defense. That was just a heck of a shot by Carmelo.
Under 1 minute to go here. Denver leading by 3. Farmar from the corner for the tie, and we are knotted at 86. Jordan Farmar had 13 points last night off the bench against Minnesota. And a very impressive win for the Lakers.
He's playing with tremendous confidence.
Smith, a little bit strong, and now a chance for the Lakers to regain the lead. And that's going to go against J.R. Smith. Well, Tracy McGrady had the season high with 47. I say had because it seems inevitable that Iverson will surpass that with 47 right now. Bryant had 45 earlier this year, and LeBron James also with a 45-point game. 2 of them. Fisher gives the Lakers a 1-point lead as Javaris Crittenden checks into the ball game.
You know where he went to college, Mark?
He didn't.
Georgia Tech, man. Come on.
First, he had a cup of coffee.
Well, you know, one year and out.
Former high school teammate of Dwight Howard at Southwest Christian Academy in Atlanta, as Iverson is fouled in the backcourt.
Why would you do that? I don't understand. I mean, that's just giving up 2 points. You're not going to steal the ball from Allen Iverson if you're Vladimir Radmanovic. You're at half court. And get away.
He had been working his way back into the good graces of head coach Phil Jackson. Iverson and Anthony, meanwhile, with 20 of the team's 28 points here in the third quarter. You know, it's interesting in speaking with George Karl a little bit earlier with reference to Allen Iverson and his offensive prowess, specifically his jump shooting. He was lamenting the fact that Allen isn't quite there and letting the coaching staff work with him on 3-point shooting. So there's one phase missing in this game.
Well, he hasn't taken any tonight, so they can't be upset.
David Thompson, meanwhile, with the highest point total by a Nugget, 73 against the Pistons back. Radmanovic misfiring. Camby clears. 13 seconds to go. And a very electric third quarter of play. Tied at 88. With the tireless, unremitting, unrelenting Allen Iverson going to work on Farmar. That time off the mark. Just his 6th miss in 23 attempts tonight. But Allen Iverson with 16 points in the third quarter, 49 in the game, tied at 88 when we come back to the Pepsi Center. The Denver Nuggets care about the community. Carmelo Anthony recently visited students at Gilpin Elementary for a Nuggets Team Fit event in partnership with Cartoon Network's Rescuing Recess initiative. During a fun-filled afternoon, the students learned from Melo how important it is to stay active and live a healthy lifestyle. The NBA, where caring happens. Interesting that during the break, as we get ready for the start of the fourth quarter, Anthony working up the crowd. Part of the crowd tonight includes Ann Iverson, Allen's mother, who came to the table asking, what's the season high for my son? Had Steve LeBron, our crack stat man, looked that up, and AI with a career high anyway of 60 against Orlando. I asked her what's the most she's ever seen him score in a game, and she said 60 points. Couldn't remember who it was against, but there's a look at Ann Iverson.
Yeah, it's tough to miss her there with the name on the jersey. Well, we see Kobe Bryant back. He left this game with 11:22 to go in the third with his 4th foul. As Farmar gets the steal, Lakers down 4. Game tied now, so the Lakers hung in there without their go-to man, Kobe Bryant.
Here's Bryant on the wing, working against Naharov. Made it all the way to the cup. And he gives Los Angeles a 2-point lead. Prior to tonight, Kobe Bryant had held the highest output offensively in the Pepsi Center at 51 points. Up top for Melo.
Great look, Marcus Camby. Great passing center. Laid that one up there for Carmelo Anthony. Perfect lob pass.
On the baseline, that foul's going to go against Ariza. Good defense by Marcus Camby.
Well, that's 3 charges Marcus Camby's taken tonight. And here you see Marcus Camby able to throw that lob pass. Now, you might say that's Kobe Bryant's fault, but Andrew Bynum is guarding Marcus Camby. He's got to get up and pressure that basketball. Don't let him survey the floor and be able to make that pass.
Anthony turns around and shoots it over his Team USA teammate Kobe Bryant, but misfiring that time. Out of bounds, it'll be Los Angeles basketball with a chance to take the lead here. Los Angeles going with Farmar, Bynum, Bryant, Odom, and Ariza. Bryant firing from the wing. And it's one and done for Los Angeles at the offensive end. Ariza now guarding Allen Iverson.
And 3 guys are on the strong side of the floor where Allen Iverson is.
They get a wide open Naharov from downtown who misses. Is that the shot you want, John?
No, I'm not so sure. You know, Edward Naharov is 2 of 3 from 3-point line last time out, but
Odom passed up a wide open look. And Bryant missed on the bank shot.
Kobe looks a little stiff. He sat over there for quite a long time as AI unable to knock it down. And went a dry spell in a 90-90 game.
Bryant working against J.R. Smith. And he'll go to the free throw line for a pair. That's the 2nd foul against Smith. Well, back in the 2nd quarter, Kobe Bryant was dribbling in the midcourt area and was tripped up inadvertently by Nahara and crashed hard to the court on that left shoulder. He immediately came out of the game, went into the locker room for a couple of minutes, came back out. And more than anything else, John, he's sad because of the foul trouble and not the shoulder.
Yeah, he hasn't shown any ill effects from the shoulder, but picked up his 4th foul, as I said, with 11:20 to go in the 3rd, and hasn't been out there. So he's probably a little bit stiff. But he should be fresh as we get down to the nitty-gritty here in a tight ball game.
Talked about Kobe's supreme conditioning during the offseason and playing with Team USA. Both he and Carmelo Anthony teammates on that team. Kobe losing 18 pounds, got down to about 8% body fat. And if you speak with some of the coaches on that team, they'll tell you that he was the first one to the gym and the last one to leave, and often doubling up in his workout sessions.
Well, he was definitely the leader of that team. And
Smith went into the backcourt, and that's going to be a foul, though, against the Lakers.
Ariza, good hustle, just bumped into J.R. Smith. And AI doing his normal I got foul routine, but clearly a foul on Trevor Ariza. You know, I was talking about Kobe Bryant. He was clearly the leader. I heard an interview he did with Coach Krzyzewski, and Coach Krzyzewski said that Kobe Bryant asked him if he could guard the best player on every team they played, and he did. And he took it as a personal challenge.
A challenge he readily accepted. Here's Smith. Takes it to the basket. In unfamiliar territory, 57% of his field goal attempts are from downtown. So he's looking for his driver's license that time. Bryant crossing up Smith to Odom. Rebounded by Nahara.
Well, J.R. Smith, we talked about how well he's been playing. 0 for 8 tonight.
Iverson has, pardon me, John, Iverson has yet to score here in the 4th quarter. Almost 3 minutes into the period. J.R. Smith from downtown. That's where he's usually comfortable, but missing that time.
Well, I'll tell you, 0 for 8 is not going to deter J.R. Smith. And you can't blame him. That's a wide open shot. That's a good shot.
And Bryant fouled on his foray to the bucket by Carmelo Anthony. Those two guys went against each other a lot this past summer as teammates on Team USA. Kobe trying to cook a little bit here in the fourth quarter when we come back to the Pepsi Center.
Weiner back in the studio, and with apologies to Allen Iverson, our Chrysler Power Performance of the night comes from Leandro Barbosa at 35 points off the bench for the Suns in Toronto. Phoenix scored a season-high 136 in their win. And guys, if he played another half, maybe he matches AI.
Yeah, it would take at least that much, Matt Weiner. Allen Iverson right now with 49 points for the Denver Nuggets. Denver right now looking at a 2-point deficit with 8:50 to go in the fourth quarter. Tough night for Kobe Bryant. Landed hard on that left shoulder in the second quarter. Looking to find his stroke offensively here in the fourth period.
He's only played 22 minutes, so I'm expecting him to be very fresh as we get down to crunch time here in the fourth quarter.
They've got J.R. Smith guarding him right now, John.
Well, you know, I said in the open that this L.A. Laker team, it's a young team, the second youngest in the league. If they can keep games close, you got that guy number 24, you have a great chance to win every ball game you're in.
They run a double team at him with Martin and Smith. Smith right in Bryant's grill. Tipped up and controlled by Martin. Here's Iverson, who has still yet to score in the fourth quarter. Smith, oh, nice dive, and Martin fouled as he attacks the steal. And did he ever go hard?
Oh, great look, J.R. Smith. Nice pump fake, it's by Farmar. A beautiful behind-the-back look, and Andrew Bynum inside the restricted area as Kenyon Martin goes hard to the basket. I'll tell you what, I think Kenyon Martin looks good. You know, we talked about the surgeries and missed a couple games with the knee this year, 2 games, but he looks pretty fresh and spry to me.
Yeah, sure does. Much more explosive than he was just a month ago. And you mentioned microfracture surgery as he misses the first of 2 foul shots. He's had microfracture procedures on both knees, as has rookie Greg Oden of the Portland Trailblazers. And he said that he keeps in contact with Oden, says, hey, don't make the mistake that I did in coming back too soon from this type of injury and this type of surgical procedure. Here's Odom on the wing, looking inside for Bynum. As we approach 8 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter play, 10 on the shot clock for Bryant. Pulls up over Smith. Rebounded by Ariza. Odom with a great look from downtown. And Bryant with another opportunity. Oh, he put him on spin, and he'll go to the free throw line. The foul is going to go against Kenyon Martin of the Nuggets. That's his 4th personal.
11 offensive rebounds like you saw. Not a huge number. And this time Kobe gets a great spin move. Kenyon Martin with a nice hard foul, clean play. Making Kobe Bryant feel him.
Bryant at the free throw line. An 86% free throw shooter on the season. Led the league in scoring for the last couple of seasons. LeBron James had an interesting quote about Kobe recently when asked about who might win the scoring title this year. LeBron noting that, yeah, he's in the lead now, but he said, hey, I don't think that guy out in Los Angeles is going to let anyone else lead the league in scoring this year.
Well, I'm sure another trip to the finals for the Cleveland Cavaliers would be what LeBron James would love to have again, as opposed to a scoring title. Kobe Bryant, too. I mean, let's face it, this guy wants to win. You might not agree with some of the things that he does and says like he did this past offseason, but he competes as hard as anyone out here, and he wants to win basketball games. There's no question about it, and he's done that thus far for the LA Lakers this season.
Anthony comes up short from the elbow. Nahara with the offensive rebound for Denver. Back out to Smith. Iverson guarded by Walton. Here comes the double team. Los Angeles a little more success. Oh, and J.R. Smith riding to the basket. I was starting to say that Los Angeles, John, seeming a little more successful in taking the ball out of Iverson's hands here in the fourth quarter.
Well, they've done a better job, and that's where somebody else has to step up. J.R. Smith, 0 for 9 before he made that basket. Take the ball to the basket.
Kobe undaunted by the double team. 2-point game and a chance to tie for Denver. Iverson took the contact, didn't get the call. Walton. And Farmar's going to pull it out. They're going to run a little offense. Well, Farmar ran the old take him play. I'll take him.
Well, he had Nahara on him. It was a good idea. Took him to the basket. Got a nice little finger roll that popped in and out. But a good take by Farmar, who is definitely not bashful.
Smith with a drive and kick. 6 on the shot clock for Iverson. Up top to Nahara. Nice feed, and Martin with the flush.
Great ball movement there, Nuggets. Iverson with the lob to Nahara, who finds a streaking Kenyon Martin. And we got a tie game as we get a steal.
8th tie of the game. Anthony. And Phil Jackson wants a timeout. Kenyon Martin getting back that bounce in his step. Off the nice feed from Nahara, and then Carmelo Anthony converting on the turnover for the Nuggets. And Denver with the lead when we come back to the Pepsi Center.
Hey, Vito's!
ESPN's presentation of NBA Wednesday, brought to you by Chrysler. The way our vehicles come together is what sets us apart. Chrysler, engineered beautifully.
A look at the city and county building in downtown Denver, lit up for the holiday season. And Allen Iverson has been lights out all night, except for here in the fourth quarter. Did you pull him out? But he's gotten a lot of help. And you talked about the depth of talent at the top of the show. Here's evidence of it here on the Denver show.
Kenyon Martin, who missed 80 games last year, a #1 pick in this league. And Carmelo Anthony, one of the best one-on-one players, in my opinion, that we have, can pick up that slack. Yes, AI just 0 for 2 here in the fourth, but his team leads by 2. And don't worry, I think we're going to hear from AI again.
Oh, so you're not going to pull him just because he hasn't scored in the fourth quarter, huh?
We'll let him hang out there.
Allen Iverson with 49 points so far. Kobe Bryant, meanwhile, has scored all 6 of the Laker points here in the fourth period.
And the Lakers starting to turn the ball over, something that has plagued them all season long. One of the worst teams in the league at taking care of the basketball. And there's another one.
Farmar turned it over. Here's Iverson. Smith wanted the lob that time.
But Luke Walton's got to shoot that basketball. He's in the lane. He's wide open. Trying to throw a dump down pass to Jordan Farmar. You got to go ahead and take that shot. Too unselfish.
Here's Anthony off the screen. Put it on spin cycle. And Bryant with the rebound. Nice quick outlet. Down court to Walton. Partially blocked by Camby, but he commits the foul in the process. Lisa Salters, what did Phil Jackson have to say in that last hug?
Well, Mark, exactly what John Barry was saying, those turnovers. He told his team, keep your cool. We look desperate out there. He said, offensively, we can get any shot we want, but we cannot turn the ball over.
Interesting in that at this time, with such a young team, the second youngest team in the NBA, to watch Kobe Bryant's interaction with his teammates and the team dynamic. He talked to us earlier about being patient with guys when they make mistakes.
Well, this is Kobe Bryant time. I mean, we're 5 minutes in the 2-point game. And like Coach Jackson said, just take care of the basketball. You scored at will basically all night long. Just get a shot at the basket as Walton misses both free throws, and the Nuggets stay ahead by 2.
5:07 to go here in the fourth quarter. And now Kobe Bryant guarding Iverson. Smith up high. Wow, what an athletic, robust play by J.R. Smith as he earns a trip to the foul line.
Well, that's never been a question with J.R. Smith. We know he's got tremendous athletic ability, and watch how he just rises here. Bynum going up, a 7-footer with a tremendous wingspan. J.R. Smith able to go up and maneuver the ball and get a little hang time and draw the foul. J.R. Smith, not the greatest decision maker, but George Karl sticking with him here with under 5 to go in a tight game.
Been a tumultuous offseason for J.R. Smith. Was involved in a car accident in which he was at the wheel. A friend of his perished in that accident. And earlier this season was suspended for a couple of games because of conduct detrimental to the team, but working his way back into the good graces of his head coach, George Karl. Denver leading by 4 with under 5 minutes to play. Iverson gambling. Fisher knocks down the jump shot. Iverson just bounces around the court like a pinball, doesn't he?
He attempted a flop there on Derek Fisher, and Derek wasn't no part of that, just pulled up and knocked down a J.
Kobe Bryant going into lockdown mode now on Iverson. That's going to be a foul against the Lakers. A blocking foul against Derek Fisher. And that's his 4th personal foul, 4th team foul. Los Angeles with 14 fouls. Denver with 14 fouls. And we have a time. All right, thanks a lot, Matt. Fans here on their feet in a sold-out Pepsi Center. Allen Iverson still sitting on 49 points. All those points coming in the first 3 quarters. Hasn't scored yet in the 4th period. And Kobe Bryant at 19. J.R. Smith will step to the foul line. Going to shoot 2 for the Nuggets. Having a tough night shooting from the field, J.R. Smith tonight. We were speaking with a scout a little bit earlier, talking about Smith's success here in Denver as opposed to being in the doghouse with Coach Byron Scott and the Hornets. And the scout kind of summed it up, said, hey, you know what? There's no plays to break here in Denver. Not as many plays to break. He said that with all due respect for J.R. Smith.
1 for 10 is not going to deter him from shooting, and I have to tend to agree that if I missed 9 shots out of 10, I figured the 11th had a real good chance of going in.
4-point lead for the Nuggets as we approach 4 minutes to go. Odom with 8 on the shot clock. Got to get to work here. Camby moving his feet well. And Marcus Camby showing you why he was the defensive player of the year last year.
Well, that was tremendous defense. Moved his feet, stayed in front of Lamar Odom, knows he loves to go left, bothered the shot, and got the rebound to boot. Great play, Marcus Camby.
The lob for Camby. And he wasn't reading Allen Iverson at the time. And now the Lakers with a chance to pull to within 2. Iverson guarded by J.R. Smith.
You know, Mark, this team hasn't been in a lot of close games. Let's see how they handle themselves down the stretch. Radmanovich knocks down another 3-ball.
He brings Los Angeles to within a point.
His 6th.
Radmanovich with his first field goal of the second half.
You know, Mark, the Nuggets in their 11 wins.
And Iverson and 1. Allen Iverson checking in with his first basket of the 4th period.
There's your 51.
And he has tied the building high. And that's going to be called, it looks like, against Bryant, which would be his 5th. And for Allen Iverson, his 11th 50-point game of his career.
You know, close games have been a rarity for this team, as I mentioned, Mark. 11 wins, they win by an average of 18 points. And in their 7 losses, as AI misses.
They called that foul, by the way, John, excuse me, against Radmanovich.
In their 7 losses, they lose by 15. So it's a feast or famine team. This team either blows somebody out or they get blown out. So let's see how they handle themselves in the last 3 minutes in a 3-point game.
Cross court to Radmanovich into Odom. 3 on the shot clock. He might not get it off on time. And he doesn't. Well, the Nuggets get a stop when they need one.
Another Laker turnover, number 17 on the night. They've fallen apart here in the 4th, but they're 4th of the quarter. just can't afford to not get a shot attempt every time down when you're in a close game. I don't, even if it's a bad shot, Mark, at least you got a chance for a rebound. It's a chance it goes in. Got to get shot attempts. Poor offensive execution here by the Lakers here in the fourth.
Here's Anthony on the wing against Radmanovich. Iverson guarded by Kobe Bryant. Iverson protesting the non-call by Danny Crawford. And back comes Kobe. Iverson goes into the front row, up high, and Bynum punched it home off the high handoff.
Carmelo Anthony under that one. Carmelo, that just happened. Wow.
And Radmanovich playing the passing lane with the steal. And he's fouled by Iverson. One more look at the alley-oop.
Kobe Bryant, the fans screaming and yelling, thought he pushed off here on Allen Iverson. Kept his cool, dribbled back out, and found Andrew Bynum underneath with a perfect lob pass. Great vision, Kobe Bryant. And look at the length. Carmelo couldn't get up. Andrew Bynum using that great length of his.
Bynum just got himself on YouTube tonight. Radmanovich at the foul line. Ties the game at 102 with 2:05 to go.
Allen Iverson thought he got fouled on that three-point attempt by Kobe Bryant. He was adamant with Danny Crawford running back.
And we remain tied at 102. Radmanovich with 21 points. 2 minutes to play. Iverson working against Kobe Bryant. Smith had a notion about the three, and that sequence was in trouble from the very beginning, from the time that Smith bobbled the pass. And now Lamar Odom a little bit hot. He and Smith having words. Jump ball called. And let's see who's in on this jump ball.
Lamar, I think it's going to be J.R. Smith and Lamar Odom. And we talked about the decision making of J.R. Smith. Not the greatest, but if you're the Nuggets, where do you go right now? Do you come back with Anthony Carter, maybe to get this team back settled in running their offense and getting Iverson some more looks? That's basically when he went off, was when Anthony Carter was in the game at the point. Allen didn't dominate the basketball. He was off the ball, and they were able to get him shot attempts. He hasn't shot the ball but just 3 times here in the fourth quarter.
Well, George Karl has elected to go a lot with J.R. Smith here. Bryant for the lead, and the Lakers have the lead. Bryant goes careening into the front row and one. Kobe Bean Bryant took it 75 feet from the foul line in.
Just blows by Allen Iverson. Kenya Martin too late on the help. Bangs Kobe Bryant on the back of the head, and the LA Lakers lead by 2. Poor defense here, Allen Iverson. You got to force him to the middle of the floor. He let him go baseline where there's no help, and Kobe Bryant took advantage.
Less than 24 hours ago, fighting off flu-like symptoms in Minneapolis, playing sick, but still coming up big, scoring 20 important points. Gets the go-ahead bucket 24 hours later for his Los Angeles Lakers. How will the answer? Los Angeles Lakers with a 2-point lead, 1:39 to go here at the Pepsi Center in Denver, Colorado. Allen Iverson, after 49 points through 3 periods, sitting on 51 right now, and Bryant has bounced back from a shoulder injury to give his team the lead just a few moments ago. And the Lakers tonight have been a monument to balanced scoring. Radmanovich with 21, a season high for him. And Bryant with that last field goal, also with 21. Los Angeles with a timeout, full timeout remaining, along with 2 20s. Denver with a full and a 20 left. See the Nuggets run coming out of the timeout. They go right to Anthony, and Bynum with his length comes up with the stuff. And Fisher's going to pull it out, run a little offense, hands it off to Kobe Bryant.
Oh, great help defense. Andrew Bynum, who had 7 blocks against Dwight Howard and the Magic. 3 games ago.
Bryant to the basket and good. And the Lakers lead by 4. Kobe Bryant with 23.
Where is the Nugget defense? Kobe Bryant, an uncontested layup with a minute to go? Inexcusable.
Iverson tried to get it into Martin. Going to be a kick ball, 14 seconds to go on the shot clock.
How about Andrew Bynum? Carmelo Anthony on the isolation, and Bynum comes over and pastes it against the board. And Kobe Bryant, you think he might shoot the ball, Denver? One little quick move, and he's into the lane and an easy, uncontested layup.
Kobe with 10 points in the period. Here's Iverson trying to counter. Anthony inside gets it to fall with under a minute to go. It's a 2-point game.
Big basket, great pass, Allen Iverson. The LA Lakers have made it very difficult on him here in the fourth quarter. Unable to get any clean looks. But the Nuggets need to stop right here.
They trap Bryant, but he rises up and knocks down another cold-blooded baseline jump shot.
Flashes of Michael Jordan right there. Looked like a little push-off like he did on Brian Russell back there in Utah. And Kobe Bryant, who's the assassin. It's Kobe time. As Carmelo Anthony gets a great look from Allen Iverson to get this to a 2-point game, but Kobe says, not so fast, Carmelo.
Kobe Bryant with 12 of the Lakers' 20 points in this period. Back with this. Allen Iverson has been a transcendent performer tonight. 51 points, tying the building high here at the Pepsi Center. But the story of the fourth quarter has been the performance of Kobe Bryant. 25 points in all. Most of them coming here in this period.
Allen Iverson with just 2 points in the fourth quarter. He had 49 coming in. He's got 51. The Denver Nuggets had a 4-point lead with a minute and a half to go. Now they trail by 4. They go to Dallas tomorrow. This is a game that they really needed.
The Lakers have gotten a couple of key defensive plays of late. One of them coming from Bynum, who contests that shot once again by Anthony. Iverson into the paint. Martin inside, and he's fouled. And Kenyon Martin will have an opportunity to bring Denver to within 2.
Andrew Bynum has been an absolute presence in the lane for the LA Lakers here in the stretch. And that's what Kwame Brown brings him. Say what you want about Kwame. We know his struggles, the #1 pick. But Phil Jackson even told us tonight that he missed Kwame Brown's presence, his strength down there, ability to guard bigs down low. Andrew Bynum has stepped up here late in the game. He altered that shot, blocked a couple shots earlier. Great job. The Laker defense has shown up here in the fourth quarter, and the Denver Nuggets has it.
Martin just a 58% free throw shooter. But with a make here, he can still make it a 1-possession game if they get a stop at the other end. Martin from the line tonight, just 1 of 5.
You know, if Denver doesn't come back and get this game, this is really going to hurt. Allen Iverson goes for 51. Carmelo has 24. No third guy stepped up offensively for this team. And we know about the defense, how porous it was all night long, especially here in the last 2 minutes.
Well, Marcus Camby hasn't scored tonight. 0 points, but he does have 20 rebounds. It's a 1-possession game.
You have to foul. You don't want to foul Derek Fisher, a 90-plus free throw shooter.
And that's exactly what they do, John. He's a 95% foul shooter. And he will get a chance here as Allen Iverson commits his 4th personal foul. Lakers with a full and 2 20s. The Nuggets with just a 20-second timeout remaining. Fisher at the line. And Derek Fisher knocks down a big free throw. Lead back up to 4, so it's a 2-possession game. Either way you look at it for Denver.
You've got to credit the LA Lakers defense here in the last 2 minutes of the ball game. Completely taking Allen Iverson out of the game after having 49 coming into the quarter. Big defensive stops. Andrew Bynum making his presence felt in the paint. And the Lakers look like they are going to walk away with their 2nd straight win on a back-to-back here in Denver.
In the 2nd meeting of the year between these two teams, The ebb and flow in both contests has really been pretty compelling. You talk about Denver in the first meeting, who led by 17, ended up losing by 28 points, and then in this game, fighting the entire way, and really a mercurial performance, a stellar performance by Allen Iverson with 51 points so far, and still a little bit of time to go. It would be, as you mentioned, John, as you alluded to, a bad loss for the Denver Nuggets if they couldn't come back in this.
Well, absolutely. I mean, they're 8-2 at home. They played well at home all season long. You go to Dallas tomorrow. Now, they don't get into Dallas till probably 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. Playing against a tough Dallas team, obviously. And you had this game won, you know, and it's really disappointing to play so hard for so long and then give it away in the last 2 minutes. Defensively, they were terrible. A couple bad possessions, and Allen Iverson completely shut down here in the fourth quarter.
Denver with the ball, 15.8 seconds to go. SportsCenter coming up right after the game. And lots of Heisman Trophy talk. Martin back to Carmelo Anthony from downtown. Tipped up. The Lakers control. Fisher fouled by J.R. Smith. And that might just do it. Fisher, the best foul shooter on the floor tonight for both teams. And what goes through the minds of the Denver Nuggets after a loss like tonight? Well, type of game where you really, really should win. A type of game where you can't earn yourself a playoff spot in the month of December, but you can certainly lose one if enough of these add up. Like last year, they didn't really take care of business here at home, John.
Yeah, well, they're, like I said, they were 8-2 coming in. You had a team that played last night in Minnesota, got in late last night. Kobe Bryant has foul troubles. Only played 20 minutes before the fourth quarter. He comes in and dominates the fourth. You get a great performance out of Allen Iverson, 51 points. Camby goes for 20 rebounds, but he doesn't score. And I just think this team has to take a look at themselves and say, we have to commit to playing defense.
George,
and that's the bottom line.
George Karl has said we are in a funky stage right now. We are a good, bad team, and we're trying to remove the bad part of that label and just become a good team. And that'll do it. The Los Angeles Lakers end the 3-game losing streak here in the Pepsi Center against the Denver Nuggets. Despite the 51 points from Allen
Iverson, what didn't you do tonight? But 49 points through the end of 3, just 2 points in the fourth quarter. What did you guys do differently to slow him down?
Well, I just try to pay a little bit more attention to him and just sit on top of him a little bit. He was dancing around, and he's a hell of a player. So if you give him the opportunity to kind of dance around and float around, he can knock down some big shots. So just try to sit on top of him a little bit more.
All right, thanks a lot. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
Well, both teams now at 11-8 after this. Final thoughts, John?
Well, as I said in the open, if this LA Laker, this young team can keep it close, and you have the best player in the NBA, you got a chance to win.
Well, the final score, Los Angeles winning 111-107. For John Barry, Lisa Salters, and our entire gang, I'm Mark Jones saying so long from Denver. Allen Iverson had a lot of answers tonight, just not enough, as Kobe Bryant had the final say. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Stay tuned, folks, for SportsCenter. It's next.